As if the final nail in the coffin of the Galactic Starcruiser was not enough, the creative lead of the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel has left the Walt Disney Company. Let's talk about Anne Morrow Johnson here on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is candy enthusiast Mr. VashSky. Vash, would you buy one of those $12 gummy frog packages if you went through to Tiana's Bayou Adventure?
I don't know if I would buy them, but I could be gifted one.
What about this? Would you pay $6,000 in order to do a 2-day Star Wars LARPing experience? Or sorry, 2-night?
Nope. Don't think I would. I don't think I would do that. Now, original trilogy? That's an interesting proposal right there. But, could you imagine, Jonas, if the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser would have lived on and they themed it to the Acolyte? Oh man.
Oh man, you could go hang out with some witches. That'd be amazing. But let's before we get into the Acolyte, let's talk about Walt Disney Imagineer Anne Morrow Johnson joins Gensler. Gensler. Oh my. Hey, Vash, for those of us who don't know what Gensler is, can you explain that to the audience? Who is Gensler and why are they a blight on the entire architectural landscape?
Yes, well, they are I believe, the largest commercial architectural firm in the world. I think Lou Wasserman's Ghost actually told me that. This huge architectural firm that's done commercial architectural design work for a lot of think of Google campus designs. Okay, think of a very West Coast mentality. Think of this kind of new minimalistic trend that you're seeing in a bunch of places. That's kind of what they are most known for. A lot of industrial facilities, a lot of stuff that spans the gamut of design. Now, what's interesting is that we've seen an executive most recently attached to Walt Disney Imagineering coming directly from Gensler and actually leading Imagineering for a while. That was Barbara Bosa, and obviously she has recently left. Who knows where she is at? Trying to think of the Imagineer. I believe it was...
Is it Bob Weiss?
Yeah, Bob Weiss. Yep, that's the one. He was in charge of Imagineering for a while there, and then I believe a few years ago left Imagineering to head Gensler. Yep. So we've seen this kind of trading spaces here for quite some time.
Yeah, they're kind of in that space where I get it. They're doing things that look expensive, that look really trendy. Martin Stone has said it great for a lot of these companies like Disney, McDonald's, for instance. It's almost as if the people who run these companies are ashamed to be in charge of these little pedestrian things that they think are maybe beneath them. I'm not saying that Anne Morrow Johnson thinks that all of this is beneath her, but the attitude that you get from Gensler is, no, don't build happy things that children love. Build things that adults want to pay money in order to do it. The Gensler effect is something that we often talk about here. There's just kind of bland, modernistic, I get it. It looks expensive, but it also just kind of looks like the generic thing that you would see in a science fiction film to say, yes, this is your faceless corporation that has a lot of money. I'm not trying to judge every single thing they do. They're no fun. And for some reason, Disney keeps using them for everything. There's this revolving door between Gensler and Walt Disney Imagineering. But let's continue on here with that bit of condemning judgment behind us. Walt Disney Imagineer Anne Morrow Johnson joins Gensler. She previously served as Imagineering's global head of creative development. Former Walt Disney Imagineer Anne Morrow Johnson has joined architecture and design firm Gensler to lead its entertainment and experience practice. Johnson previously served as Walt Disney Imagineering's global head of creative development. The Disney division is responsible for designing and developing the company's theme parks, rides, and attraction. At Gensler, Johnson's new title is Design Director and Global Entertainment Leader. She will partner with Lexi Berry as co-leaders of the practice across the world. Johnson brings the role of decades of experiential innovation in theater, culture, and entertainment sectors. Did she work on this one right here, Vash? I'm thinking maybe that's not an example of her work.
No, I don't think that's a very good example of her work either. That's obviously Disneyland, and well, Disneyland and the Matterhorn back there, those designs dating back to the 1950s. So I don't think Johnson was around then. So good catch there, Jonas.
Yep. Let's see here. She joins Bob Weiss, former president of WDI, who is now Gensler's entertainment leader. Weiss stepped down as president of Imagineering in 2021 and was replaced by Barbara Bauza. He left in 2022 after 42 years at the company. Barbara Bauza is over at Gensler now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, she was the head of WDI back in the day there for just a little while, and then well, I don't actually know if Boza made it back to Gensler. She was obviously head of Gensler for so long. Went over to WDI. I don't know where she is now though.
Yeah, that's an interesting question to me. Also, when she left WDI, she left with kind of a interesting and sour note in her exit letter, talking about how she came over in a time of racial grievance and strange things like that, about how she was trying to talk about a racial reckoning and in a lot of criticism coming her way. It was a very strange exit note. And it also happened like on a Friday or a Saturday morning early. So I don't want to say she was fired. That rarely happens with the Walt Disney Company, but now it's headed up by Bruce Vaughn, and Jeff Valle is in charge of things over there at Walt Disney World. Vash, can you add any clarity there? You know that situation better than I do.
Yes. So the structure as it currently exists right here is you have Bob Iger, the CEO of the Walt Disney Company, right? About him a lot, but underneath him in the experiences division, the head right now is Josh Giamaro, and the head of Imagineering, it looks like to be Bruce Vaughn. It might be some others involved at the top, but I believe Bob Iger has, or maybe even Josh Giamaro has positioned Bruce Vaughn to kind of get that whole thing under control there, because I think there has been an orientation towards this kind of Gensler mentality, or as we've noted before here, the Gensler effect. And so I think Bruce Vaughn has been positioned, this veteran from years past at Imagineering, positioning him in a key position like that, I think is to kind of right the ship and course correct. You'll know Johnson's work because she was actually in those ads for the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser alongside Sean Giambrone, I believe. A lot of people.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
The ad where Sean, or he's a Disney Channel star of some kind, as I understand it, that excitedly goes into the Galactic Starcruiser Hotel, which was built into a nondescript concrete building that looks vaguely futuristic, I guess, and goes into a Star Wars themed, but like it's the clean version of Star Wars, not the used future that everyone's familiar with the original trilogy. And she gives him a tour and shows him everything around. She was directly the head of the Galactic Starcruiser project. Now, of course, there shockingly has actually been developments in the Starcruiser area here over the last couple of weeks, and we did a live stream on this channel specifically talking about a 4-hour review of the Galactic Starcruiser that was made by YouTuber Jenny Nicholson, going over her experience with the Galactic Starcruiser. And I think that is probably the definitive video on the Galactic Starcruiser. And if you want to understand what happened there and why it was lackluster, Jenny Nicholson is probably the best person to give a review of that. She walks in and she's not recognized as a YouTuber and not recognized as the owner of a large website that does theme park reviews or anything like that. And she paid the full amount in order to go do it, even though she gets that money back from doing her work. But it sounds like Disney really dropped the ball and didn't build a system that wows every guest. The villain of that, you could say the villain of all of that, was the pole that was in front of her view when she's trying to watch at the dinner theater that she paid $6,000 to do this experience, and she literally cannot see the stage here. So I don't know what is going on at Imagineering right now. I don't know if they're fixing things. I don't know if this woman, Ann Morrow Johnson, is getting out before she's asked to leave here. But the Galactic Starcruiser was one of the biggest failures in the Walt Disney Company's history. And they didn't even try to do a Disney California Adventure where they try to fix the entire project. They just shelved the entire thing, accelerated depreciation on the entire situation there. Vash, is there anything you want to add to that?
Well, let's think about this big picture here. So the Walt Disney Company apparently has inked a deal with SFTOD, or the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, that controls Walt Disney World. to develop the area in the tune of $17 billion over the next 10 years, even though Bob Iger said that he wasn't going to do that if there were certain laws in the books that are still in the books, but whatever. Okay. And now we're getting that, obviously the company's going to spend $60 billion over the next 10 years. We're hearing that Josh D'Amaro is promising big things not related to Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom Park over there that we've been hearing about for so long at the next D23. Okay, we have all this development, and yet Johnson leaves right before any of that. What does that tell you, Jonas?
That tells me that maybe she's got a black mark on her record and she wants to exit, or maybe she wasn't really a person that's interested in Disney and just happened to work there for a little while. I don't want to judge anyone's motives here. When I say this thing about Gensler, people are paying Gensler to do the things that they're doing. So I'm not putting all of this on Gensler, but some people that have reached out and are sources for that Park Place are questioning whether or not the people at Imagineering right now view it as a place that they want to be long term, or is it a stepping stone to a larger position somewhere else? And my question as a longtime Disney fan is, where is there supposed to be a better place to do amazing projects than the Walt Disney Company? So Here we are.
That's just the weird thing, Jonas, is we have so much development that is supposedly going to be in the pipeline, and yet key figures of this administration or this firm that is Imagineering, this amazing, just industry-changing, leading design firm, are leaving before that actually takes place. To me, I don't think that's an indictment on necessarily Johnson, but it's really an indictment of the Walt Disney Company and whether or not they're actually going to deliver on what they're saying.
It's a fair point, but we want to throw this to our commenters. What do you think about this situation? Do you think that Gensler is the solution for all of Walt Disney's problems? Or is this just a situation where she decided she could get paid more as a contractor for Disney than being actually on the payroll? That's fascinating for me to think about right here. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Of course, like this video if you like this video, and consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.